gamers, and welcome to episode 424 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for August 5th, 2023. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
There's not really going on, man. So, yeah, we could just jump into it unless you got something to say.
Nah.
All right. Start with, just go to sports real quickly. Orioles, number one team in the American League still.
Yeah.
They just been winning, man. And even when I think they had a bad series against what was the team they played against before? I forgot who they played against before. Toronto.
The Blue Jays. No. Okay.
I'm trying to think because it was a series they lost, but they came and beat the Blue Jays 3 out of 4. I know it was they played against the Yankees. They beat them 2 out of 3, and they played against, I forget. I think maybe it was the Dodgers. Maybe that was the last series they lost. But yeah, right now they're playing against the Mets, who are a huge disappointment. They're the highest. They have the highest payroll in Major League Baseball, and
wow.
They are faltering bad. I feel bad for Buck Showalter. Former Oriole manager, and manager of a lot of other teams too. But yeah, so they had the trade because it was a trade deadline. So the Orioles picked up the pitcher. They got a decent pitcher who did pitch a couple of days ago and won. And then the Mets had traded Scherzer and Verlander, like probably 2 of the best pitchers in the game. I mean, as overall pitchers. I mean, they're older now. Those guys are on their tail end their years, but Verlander did win Cy Young last year. Scherzer's still all right. I mean, actually, don't ask Mets fans. I think Scherzer's still all right, but Mets fans hate him. They like Verlander, but they understood why they gave him up because they just trying to get something going here with the Mets team. So, for the future. Verlander ended up going back to the team he was there last year, which was Houston. So he's gone back to the champions, and after he won championship with them, and now they got him back. So Houston's looking like they trying to go back to back. So the Mets look like they're not going to do it, but I'm hoping the other New York team don't make the playoffs either. New York, and because they're not looking so good either. They're near the bottom of the East. But I think Boston's at the bottom now, but only by I think there's a half a game between them two. But they're still technically in it because the East is probably the best division in baseball, and all the teams in there have a chance to get the wild card. They're right there. So it's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy up until October. What's happening? We only have a 2-game lead over Tampa Bay as of right now because they have more losses than we do. So it's a tight race, but this is cool. I mean, you look at this team, man. All the people who are making the biggest impacts are rookies or people who've been here for 3 years, maybe. Like Ryan Mountcastle, he's probably as far as making the biggest impact, him and Santander, but Santander, I think he's still under arbitration, maybe. Mountcastle, I think I don't know what year. I mean, I don't know if he's still under the rookie deal, but yeah, he just came in around 2020. During COVID, I think during the COVID year, well, actually, I think the year before COVID, he came. I don't think he played that many games, and then he played COVID year. But yeah, but the other guys like Ali Washman, Gunnar Henderson, now you got Westberg actually doing some stuff here. These guys are rookies, and they're doing big, man, and. Then you got the pitchers, Batista, who just came last year, Cano, who just came this year. Then Rodriguez, who finally, he did start out bad, but he's been all right so far. And then the other pitchers, I mean, they're younger. I mean, we got 2 veterans, though, with Gibson. Then we picked up Flaherty from Cardinals. Yeah, it's just amazing how this team is built and how well they're doing with how young they are, and they still have prospects that are in the minor leagues that are like they're projected to do some big things too. They're looking great down there, and in the Tides and then in Bowie. So it's like, man, what? It's like, who's going to be here? Who's going to stay? Who's going to be our regulars? And who are we going to how you have to trade away because you can't keep everybody. But at least you know that with those prospects, you can get some pieces. You probably can get something that you need, especially in the pitching department. Like maybe, yeah, because we don't need. They got too many people in these positions, especially the outfield. Probably can get someone. I'm waiting until Cedric Mullins gets back because he hasn't been back on the field yet. And Hicks, they've been injured. Those are looking good. It's an exciting year. I'm excited to see what they do as far as the postseason. See how far they go. All right. Any wrestling news?
Nothing for this week. Probably next week after SummerSlam, I'll talk about it a little bit. They did have an NXT pay-per-view last week, which was pretty fun. Even though
SummerSlam this weekend.
Yeah, SummerSlam is
okay.
Tonight.
It's this week. So you mean okay?
So next weekend. So they had an NXT pay-per-view last week. That was fun. Even though like that brand is so weird now, I don't really watch it that often. They've moved more towards like homegrown talent and less from like the big indie stars that they were doing originally when Triple H was kind of running the show there. But they faltered a little bit in the transition between like Triple H doing it and now Shawn Michaels is kind of the guy running the show down there. But for a while now, they've been putting on a pretty good show. So I'm glad to see that they've kind of revived that brand a little bit, and it's not just, a bunch of green guys that aren't really that good at wrestling and a whole bunch of like over the top characters. So yeah. And AEW is kind of, they're struggling right now, just like in the discourse, because so pretty much since its inception, there's been maybe like one women's match on every show, and it's kind of come to a head now with the criticism going around, because it's basically like one women's segment or one women's match, and it's always like at the same time, so it's very predictable as far as like what they're doing. And anytime anybody like levies criticism towards that aspect of it, Tony Khan basically says like, hey, my numbers say that, they draw the least, so they get the least amount of time, basically. And people obviously are not happy about that, because you control basically what is popular on your show, right? And if you give people more women's matches or more women's segments, or actually write them storylines, which is the biggest issue, it's not just the time on TV, but even when they are on TV, they aren't doing anything of any substance. So you have these angles, like right now, Adam Cole and MJF were put together in this tag team despite just having had a world championship match against each other, and they become like the best of friends. And it turns out it's almost like they're turning MJF, who is like the biggest heel in the company, like they're kind of turning him into a good guy. And it seems like they might actually fully commit to that if they have Adam Cole go heel on him, and turn on him. So like you've got that kind of like really evolved story, and then the women's segments, like it's just like, Britt Baker's fighting somebody because no reason at all, basically. And they, even when they brought in Paige Saraya now, they had this whole like outcasts versus like these homegrown talents, and that just kind of completely fell to the wayside. Like that could have been kind of a division-wide feud where you have people like Jade Cargill, who at that point had held the TBS women's title for pretty much its inception. I think since its inception, had this undefeated streak that was longer than Goldberg's, and she is like the epitome of the homegrown talent. And they just kind of had her off in the wings on Rampage, which is their secondary show. Now their third-dairy show, because they have Collision, which might actually be their number one show at this point. You know, a lot of people are saying that that's the better product now between that and Dynamite. Collision being the Saturday night show that CM Punk is kind of the head of. So it's kind of crazy that you have all this. And then there was some stuff with a woman that had come in, Lufisto. She came in as she was going to do some training or something like that. She was trying to get a job as a trainer. And she put some stuff out on Twitter basically saying like, oh, this locker room's all fractured and, you know, these people are bad and these people are whatever. So that kind of kicked it into another gear. But it's like, even like that stuff aside, you can ignore that. Just looking at what you see on television, you see that these women are not getting as many opportunities as they are as some of the men. And it's just, it's not like I don't think fans are even calling for like, I want 50% of the show to be men and 50% women, but like, invest some time in actually developing storylines for them, or let them develop their own story. You know, I don't know what the creative process is there. It definitely seems like with AEW, you have more of that freedom as the wrestler yourself to come up with those ideas. And obviously the guys at the top, your Kenny Omegas, your Young Bucks, your John Moxleys, obviously they get some of their own input into their creative. You know, I'm not saying, you know, here's where I win, here's where I lose or whatever. But as far as like the storyline that they're telling, and it doesn't seem clear that that's necessarily what is happening with the women's division. Now, when the company first started, they didn't really have that much of a fleshed out division. There were only a few women that were really good in the ring. But now there's just like so much talent there. And it seems like they haven't changed their thinking from the beginning, when they didn't really have to focus on it because they didn't really have much to focus on, to now where you have these women, you know, formerly Ember Moon, coming in from like NXT, and you just basically relegate her to Ring of Honor. And there she's the Ring of Honor champion, so that's something. But Ring of Honor, when we're talking about like tiers of shows, it doesn't even have a cable television show. It's only available through their streaming service or whatever. So it's really like, okay, now we're talking about like fourth level show, fifth level show, stuff like that. And, you know, she's one of the best wrestlers in the world. So it's really weird right now that, you know, you can levy these criticisms and then Tony Khan is just like, oh, no, that's not doing anything about that. Not making any attempts to change. You know, it's almost like we're at the point where WWE was before during the Divas era. It's not quite that bad. You know, they're not put out there as almost comedy acts basically, but the amount of time and attention being given to the division is definitely lacking, which is, you know, not to say that WWE is doing a great job right now either. The kind of biggest thing going there right now, like in the lead up to SummerSlam, is like they've been teasing this Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus thing for a while now.
Trish Stratus?
Yeah, Trish Stratus is back. And everybody thought that was going to lead up to a big match at SummerSlam, and all signs pointed to that happening. They'd had a match, but, you know, some shenanigans happened or whatever. So this was going to be like the big blow off match here. And then they just announced that it was going to happen in like 2 weeks in not Quebec, in Winnipeg, on like a Raw or something like that. And it's like, okay, so those two, a legend and one of your biggest stars, is not going to be on the card. Rhea Ripley, who is the champion on Raw right now, has basically nothing to do, because the feud that they're building up with her basically just started getting kicked off. So that's maybe the next pay-per-view, I think, is Payback. Maybe they'll do something there with her and I can't think of her name. But so basically, I think the only like women's match that's going to be on the SummerSlam card is Asuka versus Bianca Belair versus Charlotte for the women, or for the women's, for the SmackDown equivalent title, which I think is like the Universal Women's title now, because they rebranded them so that they aren't like Raw and SmackDown, because when they traded brands, they put the SmackDown title on Raw and the Raw title on SmackDown, and last time they just like had them hand the titles off to each other, which is kind of silly. So they finally just rebranded those, and it's the World Championship that matches the men's title, which is the world title on Raw, and then the Universal title on SmackDown. Anyway, so that's kind of like the sad state of affairs over there. Like, SummerSlam is probably going to be an enjoyable card, but it's weird that they're pushing some of these matches that like seemingly were highly anticipated. I mean, like Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch would be a cool like kind of spectacle match, right? Like you have this legend coming back, and Trish Stratus can still wrestle. From all the matches that I've seen, she's put on a couple since coming back. You know, she can still go. So it's not like, you know, they're worried about anything like that. And I've seen talk of like, oh, they're, you know, they want to have time for all the matches to breathe, basically. And that's good, except you have like a battle royale on there, and it's like, who even cares about that match? Whereas you could have Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus on this card. It seems so weird, especially coming from seemingly Triple H. You know, it seems like Triple H is the guy running the show on Raw and SmackDown now, even though there was talk that Vince McMahon was kind of intervening with that stuff a little more. But now with the talk of him having like back surgery or something, and seemingly being like kind of out of the loop, at least for now, you know, this was not a problem that Triple H had in NXT, really, you know. And now to see, you know, that's where you saw the like the kind of rise of women's wrestling come out of. That's where you saw Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch and Charlotte and Bayley like actually establish that women can wrestle and we should be featuring them more on television. And now for like that to seemingly falter all over the place on the main roster now that he's got control of it is so odd. So that's kind of been the main discourse of wrestling this past week. And like I said, I'll talk more about SummerSlam next week after it's happened. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on.
All right. So I guess we get to what we've been watching, and I think you're the only one's been watching anything. So what you been watching?
So I finished off Twisted Metal. I talked last week about like, I think about an episode and a half of that. The entire series I quite enjoyed. It's a lot of fun. It's stupid. It's not, you know, highbrow humor or anything like that. It's not top-notch writing, but it's funny and clever, I think. And they do a good job of including a lot of characters from Twisted Metal that it's been so long that I played those games. I would kind of like look up the people that they were focusing on and then go, oh yeah, that is a person from Twisted Metal. So like, obviously I talked last week about like, oh, I'd like to see like an Axel or whatever, but they didn't do everybody. I think they're saving some of that for season 2. They actually, you know, kind of lead into that. Hey, you're going to see like more of those style characters as the series or the first season wraps up. But yeah, at this point, it's a show that I would actually recommend. It was a lot of fun. I think Anthony Mackie is quite quite endearing in this, and so is the woman from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think she does a good job as well. I mean, everybody does. Samoa Joe. Sweet Tooth ends up being in it more than I expected, because like when you see him in, I think like episode 1 and 2, it seems like you're going to kind of get away from him a little bit more, but they do kind of continue to follow his story more than I was expecting, and I was happy about that, because I thought it was going to be like, oh yeah, they're doing all this like teasing of Sweet Tooth because he's the character that you recognize from Twisted Metal, and then they're really just like, they used him as advertisement, but he's actually not going to be here. We're just going to continue to follow this John Doe character who's not even necessarily a guy from the game, you know? So yeah, I think they do a good balancing of, you know, homages to the game, and they do a good job of like fleshing out a story around the concept of what was, you know, just insane car combat gameplay. So yeah, I think that show ended up, it probably helps that, you know, I came in with very low expectations, but it definitely exceeded those. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's a 10, but I'd say it's a high 7 for enjoyment. So yeah, Twisted Metal, pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we get into what we've been playing. So I'll start. I've been playing a lot of Marvel Snap, as as I've been saying, and it's gotten to a point where I am like only playing. I'm not playing as much as I used to per day, because I'm only limited to getting cards on certain times. So it's like, what's the point? Like, and it takes forever to level up when you don't have any missions, you know, to help you level up faster, like to give you extra XP. Because the XP you get for just winning match, well, I don't know if you get XP for winning matches. I think you get XP for like just doing certain things during a match. Maybe you do, but I know I lost matches still got XP. I think you have to win a location or something, you'll still get XP, but you don't get much compared to you completing a mission and get XP from. So only do some, and because now I think I've got to the point where things are taking a lot longer to do than when you first started, because of, you know, they probably just want you to buy something, and and so yeah, that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. But yeah, I'm enjoying. I'm still enjoying the game. It's just like the cards I want. It's like, darn, I don't. How long it's gonna take me to get it? And it's like, darn, man, they're gonna really try to make me spend some money or something. And I was like, nah, I'm just gonna take forever to get them. Then it's gonna take forever to get these goddamn cards. What else have I played? I also played some more Exo Primal. It's I got to a part where it felt more story driven. It was still co-op, and I don't know if you were actually playing against the other team though. Like, I have no. I guess you were. Yeah, at the end, I guess you were. Yeah, because I got to a point where like you were sort of playing against other. Yeah, you were. I think you had to shoot them. You had to control a point and something like that. What else have I done? I've done back to the story. Yeah, it's because it was like a guy who you see in a cutscene. Like, he's here, he's telling you like, "Hey, I'm gonna go after the AI while you do this," and blah blah blah, or something like that. And like, I sort of was paying attention to it, but it was something new, but still not enough game there. Like I said from last week, like, this is definitely like game is just like overpriced. What else we got here? What else I play? I played some Judgment, not Yakuza, but Judgment. And there's a in the arcade, like almost every Yakuza game has it where you can play Sega arcade. Like, you play some old Sega games. Like in this one, it has the Virtual Fighter 5, I want to say it is.
Oh, nice.
And then you have virtual not virtual. It's some other virtual fighter, but it's Vipers or something like that. And
Fighting
then there's
Vipers?
a game that's made but that was just made in Yakuza. It's like a zombie Yakuza game where it's almost like House of the Dead, but in Yakuza. And it's all right. I mean, it's all right just for like a little, little arcade game. And I was playing that for a bit, and that was fun. So, I'm really enjoying that game, man. There's a lot of game there. The story is good, like the main story. I do like it. It's really intriguing. I like the mystery of who this killer is. They call him the Mole. I don't know why they call him the Mole, but what he does is that he rips out the eyes of his victims. Ooh. I mean, they're dead. Now, I don't know if he ripped them out while they're still alive, but their eyes are gone when they're dead. But yeah. I really like the game. The voice acting is great. I mean, because you don't. Now I know some people will want to be more authentic and listen to the Japanese, and that's fine. I'm sure that's great too. But the voice acting they have in place for people like me, it's pretty good.
Nice.
What else have I done? I don't know. What else have I played? What else I got up here, man? Because I'm not on the page
Mass
right now.
Effect 2.
Oh, Mass Effect 2. Yeah, I've been playing that. I've been playing as the female Shepard, and she's she's the evil one. Like I made her. That's not evil. Well, she's more of the badass. And I still do good things. I just don't take no mercy. There's no mercy for me, basically. That's how I see it. Because, some things I see, you could be an ass on, it just doesn't feel right. It's like, why would you be such a dick? Why wouldn't you help this person? This person's, dying, and you have something to help them. They're not a bad guy or nothing. It's why wouldn't you? And it's that's definitely renegade, but darn, that's just plain evil, right? I mean, it's what the fuck? It's I'm not going to help you. It's like it's not like he's a bad guy. So I can see it's someone bad who's a killer. It's I don't want this guy to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having fun with this game. I mean, I'm playing this game again. I'm playing with some mods and stuff. So they have different armor. She has different armor than we used to do. That looks kind of cool. That looks much cooler than before. What else is there? I think that's basically it. Yeah, I haven't played anything else. Really, I can't think of anything else I played. I think this is the games I've been playing so far this week. So I guess we'll take a quick break, and when we get back, we get to the flashback segment.
What about my game?
Oh, I'm sorry, Daniel. I just skipping over. Oh, yeah, what did you play, Daniel?
Real quick, I played the new game on Game Pass. It's Venba. We had seen this in I think maybe a Nintendo Direct or some other places. It's an indie game. It's very narrative focused. It's about a family who have come from India to Canada. And it's basically this narrative that's talking about the family. And at the very beginning of the game, it's just your the wife that you play as and her husband, and then eventually, one scenario in, they have a child, and then they kind of time jump to him being maybe 8 or 10 or something like that. But it's basically the gameplay itself, outside of the narrative choices and dialogue trees, is you cooking meals, and that is almost like a puzzle solving scenario, because they give you your mother's cookbook, but there's pieces torn out, and there's words obscured and stuff like that. So you're kind of taking these couple of ingredients and these different pieces of cookware, and you're trying to put them together to get the end result of a completed meal. And I think I've done 3 of those so far. I'm just very early into the game. But so far that's been a lot of fun. It just trying to figure out what they're trying to get you to do based off of that, and then completing that. I think that's fun. So far it's very, like I said, very narrative heavy. So I'm kind of like wishing that I would be doing the cooking stuff a little more. I don't know how that's going to shake out by the end of the game, but I find that stuff so interesting. The story is all right so far too, but the actual gameplay aspect of it is what I'm liking. So it's like, yeah, I'd like to see more of that. It's what I believe Cooking Mama is kind of like. So like maybe that's what I'm looking for in the game. It's just like Cooking Mama, but yeah, so far I think it's very nice. So it's on Game Pass, just came out, so worth checking out so far.
All right, so I guess we'll take a quick break now, and go back. We'll go where we're going, Daniel. Flashback segment. Cause I'm playing some Marvel Snap at the same time as I'm trying to do this.
It's gotcha, Dominic.
And we're back. So now we flashbacking to. I guess it's 2013. Like, I only have one game that's worth mentioning in the flashback segment. So now we're in a new month, August, and after this, I'll get into the game covers. But the game I will talk about is Pikmin 3 came out for the Wii U 10 years ago, and now we got Pikmin 4 about to come out for the Switch.
Now. Yeah.
It's out now. Yeah. They timed it pretty well, right? They just say like, we're gonna come out 10 years after.
That is kind of crazy that game. I mean, I know that game wasn't being worked on for 10 years, but it's kind of crazy that the last one came out 10 years ago.
It was done like 5 years ago, Dave, but they said, no, we're going for the 10th year anniversary of Pikmin 3.
Knowing Nintendo, I wouldn't be entirely surprised, though.
I can't really say much about the game because I never played it before, and you don't like Pikmin, and you didn't have Wii U, you never bought it again for the Switch. So, so I guess we'll go back to. Wait a minute, how did they do that? Did they do Pikmin 1 and 2 together on the Switch?
Yeah.
Okay, and then Pikmin 3 was just by itself, right?
Oh yeah, they made that a deluxe one. That's what it was.
Okay, yeah. So they had some extra Pikmins in there or something.
Yep. The game's still $60, Dominic.
All right. So now we're going to talk about video game covers in the last 10 to 20 years. I didn't really see anything worth talking about 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. So starting in 2013, we got Edge magazine, and here we go. Edge showing off the PS4 and Xbox, but they got a PS4 in front. They're already ponies. They said we're going to be ponies from now on.
I mean, they are European down there.
Yeah. There's like, fuck America, fuck the Xbox. They said this is your next console. Why the only option right now is PS4? I mean, come on. Damn. It's like, oh, Microsoft should have shooed their asses.
They back it up with the other sticker, though, Dominic. How Microsoft blew it. The Titanic errors on Xbox One's road to ruin.
I mean, it was.
They're
that E3 was
that was
very
bad for them.
That was what was it? That's the word I'm looking for. Devastating for Microsoft, man. I mean, that was not like how it really. That was the beginning of their downfall.
Going from like number one console, basically, or at least arguably, 1A, 1B with the PS3 and the Xbox 360. And then just, that Kinect ruined everything, Dominic.
The Kinect and also the messaging of that always online, even though, hey, this is where we are now. Even though some people are in denial. There's people in denial still. But you know what? That just happens, you just let them be, let them live that, because if they ever really know the truth, they will go crazy. You don't want that to happen. Because I still like people say I say this is why I get physical media. I'm like, yo, it's not like somebody says
be able to play that game anyway.
Yeah, I was like, dude, but if it's an always online game, it doesn't matter if you got it physically.
Yeah, but I got a disc of Marvel's Avengers, Dominic. I'm gonna be able to play this thing for the rest of my life. Or
if it's like a single player game, okay, if they stop the updates or something, like what? Unless you're keeping the update forever on that hard drive, which is the same thing as me keeping the game forever on my hard drive. It essentially
still got
like,
PT on that PS3 down.
Like you're PS4. Not gonna it's not gonna be the same game. You put that disc in somewhere else. The game's be totally different. It probably have all the bugs that they fixed. Well, it is going to have all the bugs they fixed.
How patched every game is nowadays. Like, literally every game.
Yeah, there is no game that... there's really no game that doesn't get a patch, really. I can't think of one. All right. But let's see what's up here. We got PS4 plus Xbox One game specials. We got the best of E3, the titles that will lead games next generation.
Apparently,
got
they're all on PS4.
Say that again.
Apparently, they're all on PS4.
Oh, okay. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Division, Titanfall, Battlefield 4, Watch Dogs. Yeah, Watch Dogs, man, that was big, man. Until it came out. Dark Souls 2, Final Fantasy 15, Transistor. I'm trying to remember. They showed off Final Fantasy 15? What was Final Fantasy 15? Oh, yeah. Okay. I now remember Final Fantasy. Okay. Transistor. Oh, yeah, Transistor. Darn. Bayonetta 2. Destiny, Super Mario World, 3D World, Assassin's Creed 4, probably arguably the best Assassin's Creed. Then we have how games stick brains Android game into TV, and nobody will care. Nope. The making of Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. All right, yeah. So let's go to the next mag. What we got here? We got Xbox magazine. They're a little different than the Edge one.
Why is there no PS4 on the cover of this?
Finally, Xbox One. Always on, better connect, used games, all your questions answered. That's a good way of putting it.
They're really not doing themselves any favor, though. Like, it should just be like, always on? No. Better connect? Yes. Used games? Sure, why not?
Yeah, but they don't know at the moment. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't when they announced it until they saw people's reaction, and they say, okay, yeah, everything's okay. Batman Arkham Origins, Hands on the Cape Crusaders, page 16, people. Watch Dogs, multiplayer details revealed. I forgot that game had multiplayer. The first one did
too. Jeez.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be they be able to come in and mess with you, and then you can like find them, like use your phone to find them, or they find you. It was something. It sounded cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how it went.
Smart glass integration or whatever.
Yeah. Call of Duty Ghosts. Yep, this is the best Call of Duty, man. I don't know why they haven't done Ghost 2. The scoop on the next gen stunner. An 18 hot games preview. Look at this. Forza 5, the Xbox One launch game that will redefine racing.
The game did look good.
All right. So what else we got here? We got PC Gamer Magazine. What they showing off? They got Dota 2 on the front.
Oh, man.
Inside Valve HQ. Why you must play the #1 game on Steam. Insane graphics. Multi-GPU showdown. Oh, yeah. And Massive Guide. Be a better Dota 2 player. How to watch matches. Understand the map. Best item combos. Yo, the GPU thing might be in the 970s and 980s or something like that.
It might be, yeah.
And I still got my 970. You going good, man. Reviews on Batman Arkham Origins, XCOM Declassified. You played that game.
XCOM Declassified, yeah.
Yeah. What was that game like? What was it like?
Third person action shooter.
Okay. And you was back in the 50s, right? Or something like that?
Yeah.
Far Cry 3, Blood Dragon, Fez, and Sim Jail, Tales from Prison Architect. Oh, Prison Architect. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, but with a nice coat of cutesy paint on it.
Yeah, exactly. They look like what those the Fisher, not the Fisher Price ones. Little people? Are they Fisher Price? What's Little people? Okay, it's. Yeah, Little People Jail. They should have that. Little People Jail. They should say, yeah, we locking all the black people up.
Jeez.
Go to the moon in Minecraft, on page 82. And what's this? Planes, Trains, Tanks, and Choppers Sim Revival?
Maybe it's just like saying that there are lots of sim games coming out now.
Yeah,
Like World of
but
War
I didn't
tanks and all
know
that kind of
Michael.
thing.
It was no Microsoft Flight Simulator, right?
No,
I don't
I
remember
don't
at the
think so.
time. All right. Oh yeah, you don't fly jets in Mike. Do you fly jets in Mike? Flight Simulator? You just don't shoot them. You just can't shoot.
You might be able to now. I mean, they got freaking the Ornacopter or whatever from Dune in there, so they gotta have all
Yeah,
sorts
but
of
I
things.
never seen anybody like you shoot stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't think
Yeah,
there's any weaponry or anything like that. Just do
that's not a
sky
real simulation
shows.
then. Gosh, yeah, it should show like, hey, one crazy guy, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna shoot everything.
Jeez. They wouldn't even
Get
let you crash into
flashbacks.
the ground. They're not gonna let you shoot off missiles.
Oh, he's drunk or something like, oh, I hit the missile button by no. Shit. All right, so that is it for 2013. So now we're going back 20 years, 2003. We got the unofficial PlayStation magazine and this ugly ass
That is an
snake.
unofficial face on Snake for sure.
Yeah, that's not even. It's almost starting to look like, hey, this is the end game engine look of him, but it's like it's not.
Yeah,
It's
it's so weird because PSM is usually like so cartoony and like drawn like a McFarlane thing, and then this almost looks like it's a render from the game, but with just the worst face on it possible.
yeah, exactly. It's like let's fix the face up. And not it. All right, so Sony versus Game Boy, PlayStation Portable. See how
Yeah.
huge the screen is. Oh man, the
Very
PSP.
huge. Yep.
And this is the world's best-selling PlayStation 2 magazine. So take that, official PlayStation magazine. Gran Turismo 4, hands-on with the best racer ever. Ever. There was no Forza yet.
That's the only way they could say it.
And this is only in PSM. New screens, Better Gear 3, Snake Eater. I don't know how official PlayStation magazine did not get this.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, official, man. They were
Money
lagging, man.
exchanged hands. They were like, "You don't need screenshots. We got a demo on the disc."
Yeah, I don't think they ever got the demo of that. Castlevania, we played the game. Action fans are dying to get their hands on. I don't think that was a good one.
Nah, I'm trying to see if I can read which one it is. Something of Innocence, Torment of Innocence, or something. Definitely not a good one.
Tony Hawk's Underground, a all new. Get off your board and put your face in the game.
Yeah, they used the camera so you could scan your
Yeah.
face in there.
Chaos Legion, exclusive map. Every chip, build the Ultimate Legion. And that game didn't turn out so well. It was like in the sixes on the consoles. It was worse on PC.
Jeez.
Plus Spider-Man 2, yes, Onimusha 3, Ratchet Clank 2, and that I think it's going to say Legacy of Kain or something. I have no idea, but just that damn
Yeah, Legacy of Kain Defiance or something, I think, was
okay.
that one game.
And Hack into the Matrix. We show you how. I guess it has some Matrix secrets in there or something. Because the game already came out. All right, so what else we got here? We got the Xbox magazine, the official Xbox magazine from 20 years ago. And StarCraft Ghosts is on the front.
Yep.
And you got Newsflash, Splinter Cell 2 also. All new details inside. And, where's the Xbox debut? I think it's Grabbed by the Ghoulies.
Yeah.
Yep. That's when all the best rare games came out when it came to Xbox. Like, people was like, man, this makes all the Donkey Kongs and shit look bad in Banjo.
What happened to Rare?
Rainbow Six 3, prettier than Splinter Cell, deadlier than Ghost Recon. Ooh. And Ninja Gaiden, can't miss screenshots. Yep, I always remember the screenshot of Ninja Gaiden of the dragon butt. It's a dragon lady butt. They always had it in every screenshot.
Really?
That's why, like, my memory of it. That's my best memory of it. Yeah, look it up. I mean, actually, in another magazine, actually, you'll see. Well, not on the front cover, but I got it from that, that archive website where you can look at the bags. I think it's the EGM one. I think it's one.
I'll
this
check
one.
it out.
Yeah. So we got Electronic Gaming Monthly. And we got Sonic on the front. This is for Sonic Heroes, which I played a little bit of this game because my nephew had it, or my nephew's friend, because I was watching both of them, and one of them, it was one of their games, and I was playing a bit of it, and I actually liked it. Like, this is probably my favorite 3D Sonic game, like, around this time, like, since, like, the Sonic Adventure. This is probably my favorite one. I always just played with the team with Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails because those are the real characters. Everybody else was not real. They weren't real characters. Shadow, there was no Shadow. There was just the Metal Sonic. And then there was no Biggs, the cat, and some pink hedgehog girl, and Rabbit, whatever. But, yeah, so it was actually an alright game. But, yeah, Sonic Heroes, characters, 4 teams, 3 consoles. The world's fastest hedgehog streaks towards the biggest adventure ever, even though everybody else runs the same speed as him. Sony's next systems, PSP takes on Game Boy, and Super Console PSX takes on TiVo. All right, that's right, I remember that. And the PSX, I remember that.
Yeah.
That went nowhere. All right, Halo 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, screenshots, gameplay, info and more. And 150 plus games inside. All these other games down here. I'm not gonna read. I do see Final Fantasy 11 in here. I see Splinter Cell, Pandora tomorrow, Gran Turismo 4. Tomb Raider is up here. Angelina Jolie on the new movie, Her Fears and a Sexier Lore. I'm thinking this is part 2. I was gonna say. Yes.
I feel like that's 2.
Yes, and I seen that in theaters. I sat in theaters and watched that movie.
How'd that go for you?
It was hard. I remember her punching the shark, but that was in the preview. And I remember her.
Daniel Craig's big acting debut or something.
I don't remember the end. PS2, Xbox, or Cube. Whose upcoming lineup is the best? It's a special and 6-page report inside.
GameCube's always.
Exclusive cheats. Oh, look at this, Daniel. Game Shark and Action Replay.
You miss it, don't you, Dominic?
The glorious day. The glory days. This is the glory days, Daniel. This was like at its peak. This is like actually probably from the peak to the down. When they get to new consoles, that's when it goes away.
This is beginning the downfall, yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is where you can still like get one for the Game Boy or whatever, but you can't really get anything for the new consoles.
Yeah, well, those new consoles, they ruined it, Daniel. They ruined it. I was like, well, I'll get I don't care about getting a console yet because I don't get the Action Replay or the Game Sharks up here yet. And then I realized it was never coming. It made me sad. I was like, I gotta play games like a normal person. So what the hell, man? Like these normies. All right, so what else we have here? We got our last magazine here. We got OPM, official PlayStation magazine, and we have Need for Speed Underground on the front.
Oh yeah, love that.
Yeah,
game.
This is like probably one of the last best Need for Speeds, man. Mm-hmm. I think this was the peak, the Underground.
Oh, absolutely. For me, it was.
I think. Yeah, they're like I don't think after this. I think that's when it was kind of iffy with Need for Speed. Like I'm trying to think of Need for Speed that like after this that was like, oh yeah, Need for Speed's back. I think this is it. I think it died. I think Need for Speed. I say died, but I feel like the best of Need for Speed was the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube era. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Underground, and I played this. Either my nephew or his friend had it, and I played the game, and it was fun, man. I used to enjoy playing that game.
I loved kitting out the cars, putting the underglow on them, putting all the cool spoilers.
I had this magazine. Yeah. Oh yeah, the future of the PlayStation. There we go, the PSX. I was like, oh man, that's the next PlayStation. And want to be a tester? Find out why it's such a lousy job.
Oh, man. Even then, they were criticizing the game industry.
Playable demos inside. You got Ape Escape 2. I played that. And the awesome Gladius. Gladius was alright. Robots in Disguise. The Transformers coming to PS2. I don't remember this Transformers.
Yeah, it's still pretty good ones, probably. So.
Or Metal Gear Solid 3. Snake Eater. See What We Mean. I guess then what they mean by Snake Eater. You eat snakes. Prince of Persia, Sands of Time.
Oh yeah.
This could be the surprise hit of the year.
As it was.
And then you have Into the Matrix, Cheats, The Hulk. Look at that Cheats, man. Ape Escape 2, Arc the Lad, and all the ratings. And then you have Jada Pinkett Smith on the front before she was crazy. Actually, but she has a crazy hairstyle. All right. So, that is it. Yeah, I think I think Game Informer didn't really have anything good.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think I might have skipped 2003 for Game Informer. I mean, I don't know what was on the front of that one.
Where are we at? February 2003, June, July, August. It's Gran Turismo 4.
That's why.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. So let's get into the gaming news. What we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic. So I was recording this yesterday, Friday, the 4th of August. There was a very large happening in New York following a meet and greet, seemingly kind of like unofficial event because there seemingly were no like permits or anything done. A very large streamer on Twitch, Kai Cenat. At one point, he had the most like subs, over 300,000, like big name on Twitch right now. He had basically put out a thing saying on his Instagram, like, come meet me. I'm giving away gift cards. I'm giving away PS5s at New York's Union Square Park. And a lot of people did. A lot of young people did, because that's kind of his audience, are younger teens and whatnot. To the point where there were thousands of people out there, and it apparently devolved because people started throwing bottles and climbing on things and obstructing traffic. There's some incredible videos out there right now of just like seas of people. And, he eventually got arrested for this and maybe potentially facing charges for basically inciting a riot. I mean, it is insane. I don't, obviously like this, he did not plan this, like to that extent. It is his fault that, this occurred. But at the same time, like it's not like this event was purposefully, violent or anything like that. It's just you get so many people in close proximity, and there's always, some bad people that kick some shit off, right? Yeah.
It's just that he has a manager apparently, because they said the manager said, yeah, it was he did not intend to be like this and something, but I don't know like who's his manager is or how old is his manager. His manager could be just a year
He's
older
21.
than him.
His manager's 22 years old.
Yeah.
It's just his buddy.
So I'm like, why? I said, because if the manager's not like a adult, and I don't mean just by like numbers.
Yeah.
Because just going by this guy, he I don't care how old he kind of acts like a kid, and he and this seemed like a kid decision to me.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So where's the adult at? Who's like? Is there anybody
the adult in the room?
Yeah, like honestly, I mean, because he definitely was not act like one. Because this, like, you just tell people, meet me here. Like, no, like, dude, you're popular.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you thought, like, how you thought it was gonna go? What was it like? That's how I know what in your head how you thought was this gonna be. Well, like, how many people you thought was gonna show up?
Thousands, but they were just gonna get in an orderly group, come up to me, shake my hand, get a gift card, and go home.
Yeah, without you having, like, when people have events, they have, like, when people have events where there's a lot of people, they make it so that it could be for a lot of people. They have things sectioned off.
Security, barricades.
Yes, I'm saying, like the people, how you enter here, you go here, you do, they have all this stuff happen. So you not having none of that, like, how did you thought this was going to go? Like that, it's like you basically asked for it. Like, I'm sorry, I can't defend him on this.
Nah, it's hard to.
it's just like yes, you can just say, well, the people act, yeah, they did, and those people, the people in the videos are probably gonna get caught for doing stuff like the person dance on the freaking car.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he's a dumb idiot too, because I'm like, oh yeah, I guess he thinks his face not gonna get recognized or something. Maybe that's a mask he got on. He got the Mission Impossible mask on. Yeah, he got and that's not his real face, because that boy was dancing away, and people just kicking cars and stuff. Like he ain't had no mask, no hoodie on, nothing. I'm like, damn, man, this dude just said like, take me to jail. That's what he's doing. That's what he was saying probably while he was dancing. And the people jumping on the car, driving off. Now I don't know if that was him. They say he tried to get away, but I just saw people jumping the car. Now some people are putting fake videos up of like old riots, because some things I saw was like, this wasn't happening. This didn't happen. Because some people
there's a white Bronco driving very quickly away from the scene.
Yeah, but it was like a whole bunch of kids, on a car while I was driving, and I'm like, yo, it was ridiculous. It was horrible. But thing is, you calling out a group of people just to come to get some free stuff in New York.
Yeah, one of the most populous places in America, Manhattan. Yeah,
you call them there, and
because like even the people that aren't following you. If I'm in a group of people and I hear like, oh, I'm running over here because they're getting free PS5s, like, I might follow you.
Yeah, exactly. People are going to see, like, if people see some group of people going somewhere, they're just like, hey, what's going on?
What's going on?
People ask, what's going on?
They're giving away PS5s, gaming PCs.
So I said, oh, okay. And then more people follow. Like, see, that's why no adult made this decision.
No.
like, because nobody said, let's not do this. Let's just do it the normal way of giving away stuff, Like you're a subscriber, and I'll pick a random subscriber and give them something.
Yeah.
Or if you like a quiz, I don't know, something. But this, unless you have set up an event, like you set it up, everything. You don't do this. You don't do this. And just think about why this hasn't. I don't know anybody else has done this.
No, not in this way. Like you might. Yeah. Back in the day, you would hear about like Rage Against the Machine is putting on a concert at some random rooftop in LA or something. But we're talking about like back in the early days of the internet. So like, how much would that even get out? And two, it's just, it was such a pop-up thing, happened so quick. They're not even necessarily interacting with you. It's just like, oh, be near this building or something like that, and you'll see them. It's not even like, oh, you got to come find me specifically.
Yeah.
So it's we've seen similar stuff, but like even Rage Against the Machine at their peak probably did not have as large a fan base as this dude does right now, just because of the ability to reach so many more people,
Yeah.
And then we're also talking about like, we're also talking about like an age thing, right? Like obviously the people making decisions aren't.
When I see this, there were a lot of kids.
Yeah. That's his fan base is very young people. So yeah, you get a whole bunch of them together. Yeah. Nobody's making good decisions.
No. So yeah, you see a whole bunch of kids they come on. I ain't see an adult in there. Like he probably was the oldest person. And how old is he?
21.
Yeah. Oh, and his bodyguard or something I saw.
Yeah. It's probably 53. But he's jacked. That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like lesson learned, I guess. But I wonder what I'm sorry.
So.
I mean, yeah, but this ain't. I'm sorry. This is one of the consequences where like I don't feel like lesson learned and nothing happened. Fuck no. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah. Like especially if my car got fucked up.
See, that's the thing. I look at like all the vehicles that were stopped, and yeah, like, because you can, like some of those vehicles where there's like the one video of the guy backing up, like I wouldn't even attempt to do that because there's so many people around me. I'm not gonna like expect them to move out of my way, even though I'd hope they would if I'm moving my car.
Yeah.
But like, I'd be afraid to move.
Exactly.
And then you climb on top of my car, and I'm like, what the?
And if they don't, you hit it. Look, I'm sorry. Do you really want to go through that? Like, even if you could probably get off some way, like say, hey, nothing's going to really happen. But I don't even want to go through the situation of like, I hit somebody. You know, I just don't want.
Whether I'm legally, culpable or not, like that's going to live on my head forever if I.
Exactly. I was just saying, do you really want to go? Who wants to go through that?
I just get out of my car and climb up on top and start dancing too. I'd be like, yeah, I guess this is what we're doing now. Everybody up on top of my car, I guess.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. That was a bad situation all around. Definitely switch to, stay with just giving away shit on stream, please.
Yes. All right, so what else we got, man?
All right, Dominic, let's get into some like actual gaming news. We got shortly after we recorded the podcast last week talking about MK1 and the new characters coming there. It was also announced that Geras from the last MK game is also going to be in the roster here, and EVO is actually happening this weekend, and there is teases that there's going to be a big announcement tomorrow as of recording this.
Is Geras the one that came in the last game?
Yeah, he's the one that was like guy? The henchman, for Chronica. Yeah. So it sounds like
Blackish. I don't know what he is.
It sounds like the character that they're teasing for this weekend for EVO is going to be Reptile. Did you see the trailer for Geras? There is also, I saw a lot of people talking about this because in that trailer, there's also a new Liu Kang finisher where he like basically pulls you up into the universe and then like destroys you with a black hole that looks pretty insane.
Oh, that's cool.
That game is going to be wild, Dominic. All right. Speaking of fighting games and EVO, the biggest announcement coming out of there as of right now is that Iron Galaxy, the original developer behind actually, no, they weren't the original. Double Helix was the original one, weren't they? And then Iron Galaxy came in after Double Helix got bought by Amazon. So Iron Galaxy, who is famous for porting games and working on stuff, they are back to help out with Killer Instinct because it is getting a 10th anniversary update that is going to include balance updates and improved matchmaking and 4K support for the Xbox Series S and X. So that's pretty dang cool.
Yeah, that is, man. That they still staying with this. And people say that people are apparently still playing this, which I'm not surprised. I mean, it seems like almost all games, if the servers are still on, there's somebody doing something out there. But yeah, them going back to a 10-year-old game and having a 10-year anniversary update, that's pretty awesome. And I hope the update is that they releasing all the costume stuff so I can just get for free. That's what I'm really hoping. That's what it is. Because when I saw how the way I had unlocked that shit, I was like, well, I'm never going to get slide this stuff. So I hope it just makes it easier to get that stuff, or they just said, hey, this is unlocked and we got new stuff. So I was like, yeah, I can get those stuff. And can I please get Dark main
Jago.
Character? What's his name?
Main character, Jago or Jago?
Jago, yeah. Can I get him for free? So I had to buy him.
Yeah, because that was a separate thing from even like the deluxe edition, wasn't it?
Yeah,
you had to buy him.
It was. That was bullshit.
Yeah. So, very silly. All right, Dominic, and some.
Do you think? Oh wait a minute. Is this a free update?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's free.
All right.
Yes, they said that in our tweet. The tweet specifically says, our friends at Iron Galaxy are back, and together we're bringing you Killer Instinct's free 10th anniversary update later this year, including a balance update, improved matchmaking, and 4K support for Xbox Series X and S. More info coming soon. So, yeah. All right, next up, Dominic, we got a Pokemon Presents happening on Tuesday, August 8th, so just a couple days away. There's a lot of speculation surrounding this, that this is where we will see a remake of the Gen 5 games, Black and White, because we've seen Brilliant Pearl and Shining Silver or whatever. We've seen the Hey You Pikachu games. We've seen all them. So it sounds like this may be next on the block. I just hope they end up doing it more like the Hey You Pikachu than the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, because those seemed cool compared to, I mean, it might have just been visually, but like that, the Brilliant Pearl and whatever, like that chibi look did not work for me at all.
You said that should be what?
I was just saying the chibi look didn't work for me on those last remakes, so I hope they go back to like the Let's Go, because I thought those looked really good while also still retaining the spirit of those original games.
Yeah, Let's Go. Yeah, it did look good. Yeah, I did not like. Yeah, I agree with you with that.
I also like the Let's Go idea of like you getting experience from catching the Pokemon and not just like battling, because I think there was like. There's something about like random battles didn't work the same way or something that sounded kind of interesting to me from the perspective of never really building out a team in Pokemon the way I was supposed to. So it's like if you incentivize me to catch Pokemon, then I'm going to do that, which I think is, you know.
I want Power World.
We all just want Power World. We just want the guns. That's what we want. We're going to find out at this Pokemon Presents that Nintendo bought the Pal World developers, and they are just putting Pokemon into those games because they were coming up with better Pokemon designs anyway. Mm-hmm. So they're like, yeah, we're just...
Without guns, though.
No, it's keeping the guns.
How are they going to keep the guns? They ain't going to do that.
Keep the guns. Keep the guns and the
it's all kitty friendly, man. Yeah. There's the guns that shoot out bubbles or whatever. Man.
Oh, there you go. Splatoon guns. There you go. You just gack all over the Pokemon. All right, Dominic. In some other remake news, there are rumors that with QuakeCon coming up on the 10th through the 13th, so basically,
Quake 5,
about a week. No, we're going back in the past, Dominic. Quake 2. A remake of that.
I guess you have to do that. You have to do a remake before you get a new game.
Test the waters, yeah.
That's the rule.
That's the rule.
Like now, you don't never expect a Half-Life 3. Wait for the Half-Life 1 remake, and then a remake because they really didn't. Then somebody else.
Fans made that, so that's now they reset the timeline because they can't make a Half-Life 3. So. Now we got to wait like another 10 years until they can actually make a remake of it. Yeah, basically what I'm saying is the fans screwed that up, Dom.
But yeah, it just seems like people just don't do that. But yeah, it might as well. I mean, because I don't know. I mean, I played Quake. I play all the Quakes. Mm. Quake 4, I remember I played that on the Xbox 360. And I mean, I had fun with it. I don't really know the story or anything. I felt like it still was... It always felt similar to Doom, like some portal or something happened, right?
There's like the Strogg or whatever, like bad alien species that are like...
Yeah, you might as well just call them from hell. You might as well just say they are. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen a new Quake game after the success of Doom and Doom Eternal.
And Wolfenstein.
And Wolfenstein. I mean, maybe that's just been it. Is like it's been so busy, and I don't know. I definitely have a lot of reverence for Quake 2. It was like the first like big full PC game that I had, because like up until that point, I was really only ever just playing like demos of stuff a lot of times. Between that and like Duke Nukem 3D, those were kind of the biggest games early on in my PC gaming kind of life cycle.
What's the Heretic meet? The Heretic remake is going to be after this, right?
Oh man, if Phil Spencer wore a Heretic or Hexen or one of those shirts at whatever last thing he was at, not the trials, obviously, he was wearing a button down there because he's classy. But at the Summer Game Fest thing, I think he was wearing a Hexen or Heretic. I'm here for that too, Dominic.
I only know Hexen. I know Heretic.
I can never remember like what the difference is between those, or if like Hexen is the sequel to Heretic or Heretic is the sequel to Hexen.
Everything's still with demons.
It is, but you got magic instead of like actual guns, Dominic. That was what was cool about it. Which, I mean, you've also got that EA game coming out soon, the Avalon or whatever. So, you know, there's kind of that game.
Yeah, you know what? That's like the Harry Potter. And they already have the Harry Potter game, and then they got that coming out too, man. Mm-hmm. World. And that one's good because it's not transphobic.
There you go. Just wait until we find out the EA politics. All right. Speaking of EA, Dominic, here's an odd one, possibly, maybe. EA is in early stages of development on ports of Jedi Survivor, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, to the PS4 and the Xbox One. So we're taking it back here, Dominic. We're going back in time.
Interesting. So this I saw on Twitter or Xer, Zitter. I saw that that like people were questioning, like I was saying last podcast, about is this even next gen?
Yeah.
And like all these games are basically if they can just run on last gen, and I was like, oh, y'all just learning this.
That's the problem with Jedi Survivor is it apparently doesn't run very well on current gen.
Yeah, well, that's what people were saying too. Of course, it's like, are they gonna fix the current gen one? When are they gonna fix that one? That is something. I mean, I'm happy, but I get it. I mean, like I said last podcast, none of these games really feel like they're just next gen. They just chose to be up there, and it just chose to take advantage, or in this case, I guess they just rushed it.
So it turns out it wasn't an advantage.
Yeah, they were probably better off doing that one than the other one. But yeah, just porting it. Yeah, working on PS4, Xbox One version, and just porting it up and just say, hey, this loads faster. And they can get some better lighting. But yeah, that sucks. That means that it didn't sell. I mean, if that's what it got to mean, right? I mean, why else? Or if they just want more, like say, hey, the base is still bigger, and we just want more money. We can't get any more. Like we sold,
we sold everything that we think we're going to here,
and it looks like the growth of the systems are not as fast as we want to do, so people must still be playing these games. Yeah, that's the thing. I think they're seeing that there's people are still playing these PS4s and Xbox Ones. I mean, if you can easily look at it, people be online, and so they're probably like, yeah, let's just bring it down. Because look, Harry Potter I believe that is on last gen. Yeah. There is a last gen version of the Harry Potter game. Cause that's why, because when I saw Jedi was just next gen exclusive, I was thinking to myself like, yeah, they just chose to put it up there because it can't be that this game was like, oh, this is only going to be next gen. Like they chose to make it only next gen, but it wasn't. Because
the previous game had come out for those systems.
Yeah, but that's before that game came out. Kind of, at the early stages though of the new systems. But but with Harry Potter, see, I was like, wait a minute, that's kind of. I mean, I can see. They probably were working on it before, but of course, but that means that this could have been too. And yeah, as we can see, they're working on it, and they're not. It's like they're actually working on it to actually work there, and see, and that's what I say is like people saying like how like Ratchet and Clank saying like, oh, it couldn't work on the PS4. That's because as is. No, it couldn't. They would have to work on it to make it work for the PS4.
Yeah.
That's how that works. That's
As
how
it
that
turns
works.
out, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yes, they would have to work to make it work on another system. That's how that works. I don't. It's not like a simple thing. Like, okay, we're going, and like even the when they do old consoles, like the consoles were different. Like when they do an Xbox version of a game, a PS2 version of a game, or something like that. Mm-hmm. They have to work on each version of the game. It's the job. It's the job. I mean, goddamn. So it's not like, oh, it's impossible. Yeah. Like, yes, it's impossible to play Grand Theft Auto on a Nintendo, on a Super Nintendo. It's impossible. But
if you make it with the limitations in mind, it's possible. It's just not the same game.
Yeah, that was just a totally different game. But like with this is that all this stuff, like all these games look like they could be possible last gen, you know?
Yeah.
Not saying they should do it. I'm just saying that this era is different. Like we already talked about this, but this era is different. But them doing this, yeah, I'm curious. Like, man, were the sales a disappointment, or is it that hey, there's still a whole lot of people playing these other systems, just make it? But I just never seen it like start like this. You always seen it where they'll say it come out later. Like you'll know it's coming. Like the first year of the Xbox, the Titanfall came out first on Xbox One. It came out a month later on Xbox 360, and the same with Garden Warfare. Came out first on Xbox One. Came out about a month later on the Xbox 360. Because I got that's the versions I got was the 360 versions first, which is funny because that was EA also. Like I don't know any other company that's done this.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, it just wants all of it. They want everything, Dominic. You still there?
Put it on the Switch then.
Oh, there.
You should put the Switch in. You there?
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's been some of the speculation around this, is with some increased talk about the Switch 2 again. There's some stuff going around basically saying that it's going to launch next year, holiday season, have an 8-inch screen, have like 512 as far as internal storage, stuff like that. But with that being theoretically around the power of a PS4 or an Xbox One, that this is kind of a double dip for EA, where they're like, oh yeah, we can also capture some of that, you know, increased audience by putting it on the PS4 and Xbox One, but also it's a byproduct of them doing most of the work to scale it down to get it running on a Switch 2. Do you think there's any relevance there? Like
Switch 2 should be as powerful as the current gen consoles, Dad.
It should be, but it definitely won't. I mean, the interesting thing there is, like, we've definitely seen an increase in interest from developers like EA in putting out larger games on the Nintendo Switch, where you may not have seen that like on the Wii U or whatever, right? Like you see the Arkham game come out on the Wii U and then nothing else after that, because they realized that's not going to sell. People are there for basically just Nintendo games. But the Switch is selling so much that they're like, yeah, it might behoove us to actually have our games on this console, whether they're, you know, the best way to play them or not.
The portability of it, you know, and of it, and the also, I mean, and being a home console and / portable at the same time. Like the Wii U was just a home console, and thing is, what we've seen in the history of Nintendo, like after Super Nintendo, is that most people buy the first party Nintendo games. Yeah. Like, well, N64, you could probably put that in there. That was the big change. That was the change was starting, because really it was the wrestling was probably the only third party thing. And there, I mean, some games too, but yeah, but like once I get to the GameCube, you're just not noticing like the first party games are the ones that sell. It's like they're the ones the first party games was the only thing people were buying, and but see, thing is, on the Game Boy, all the handhelds, I think the third parties did find a good audience with the handhelds, and I guess Switch is still kind of in that space. So, yeah, I think a lot of developers are seeing that. Yeah, this system.
I wonder though, because like at that time, the reason that stuff would come out on the handheld, I feel like, was just because of low cost of development. But now,
it was too. Yeah,
if we're talking about relatively close to this generation of power, they put that kind of like crapware out on phones as phone games now, and then you actually have to put some like actual work into getting it on the Switch, unless you go like the cloud version.
It's more ports though. I mean, that's the work. It's just porting it over though.
Yeah,
like those words. A lot of those games had to be original games because they wouldn't. Nobody's buying no type of games for the bigger consoles.
True.
And with these, is mostly just ports of what was that, and they look worse and one worse. I think that's what it is. But it seems to be worth it, I guess, because people just want to play a portable. Say, hey, I ain't got nothing else, and I can take this anywhere.
Yep. Yeah,
like I'll pay Witcher like this.
Felt that way about so. Yeah, exactly.
Witcher. What's the other?
Doom.
Skyrim.
Yeah, Skyrim. Skyrim's one that I bought into like that because I was like, oh
yeah, I played. Yeah, I remember I played that a little bit, and I was like, yeah, this is something. No, I think it's all right. I think for a port like this, portable whatever, is all right. It's just past my time. I'm not really playing in the back of a car anymore or something like that. Games, and when I go somewhere, it's rare. Like, even though I bring my Switch with me, I rarely take it out to play though. And I was like, darn, I bought this thing for nothing. That's it.
So, all right, Dominic, that was the news I had for the week. You got anything else before we get into new releases?
Let me see, man. I don't think so. Yeah, is this the Switch rumors? Well, the next update, but we talked about that kind of last week, right?
Yeah.
Rumors of an update to the PS5, like a mid happening, and somebody saying
it's gonna be Xbox, mid, all right.
Should the Xbox do a mid too, a mid console too? I mean, I guess if the PS5 doing, but like, what does this mid mean? Is this mean we're gonna get what the internet is all screaming about, 60 frames, 4K,
8K,
consistently,
30.
Yeah, 8K. Oh yeah, no, 8K 60 also. But yeah, they like, is that what we're getting? Like, how much power? And then, like we said, it doesn't feel like they even took advantage of damn power in this one. It's like, so like they really didn't though, because all the games. I mean, not saying, okay, that doesn't really mean it just because the games can be played on last gen, but it just feels like then, because how some of the last gen games look compared to what they look like on these new consoles, the new consoles look better. Yeah. But it's like, could it look much more better than that then? Because it still looks too close to what the other one is. Like, I can see the difference, but I feel like can it be better? All right, so I guess we get to new releases.
All right. First up, we got Vemba. I mentioned that earlier. Out now on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS5, Xbox-One, and Xbox Series. Of course, that is also on Game Pass. We also have Akiba's Trip, Undead and Undressed, the director's cut.
Okay, what the hell is this?
This is... I've heard of Akiba's Trip. I was actually looking up a video to see what like the actual gameplay is. It kind of reminds me of a Persona where you have like these talking bits, but then you have some actual 3D action.
What's the undress part? This girl is in her underwear, Daniel.
That's the undress part.
The combat system. Well, what is it? Demonstrating the player's ability to strip clothes off enemies.
Yeah, show them.
Do the enemies strip your clothes off too?
Looks like it. This guy's got no shirt on anymore.
And this girl in her panties, man. What the fuck, yo? Okay, yo.
Well, knock it till you try it, Dominic.
Man, the Japanese.
It's gonna be your new favorite series. This dude has what I.
And I don't know why
sure.
people make excuses for liking this shit.
Yeah, you don't
like
have to
if you like it, you
nowadays.
like it.
Yeah.
But they make us like say, oh, it's not perverted. This is fine, and this like you know what? No, own it. Say yes, I'm a pervert. Sue me. Yes, I like seeing cartoon girls get stripped to the panties. Is that a crime? No.
Dominic, for unknown reasons, I need a copy of your audio this week. All right, next up we've got Oceanhorn 2, Knights of the Lost Realm, out now on the PC, PS5, Xbox Series. Now, this is the follow-up to Oceanhorn, the original. Obviously, I played that one back in the day. That was a nice, not quite fully baked, but a nice Zelda clone, isometric point of view.
I thought this game already came out. When does this game announce?
It did. This one came out as an iOS exclusive.
Oh, that's why.
I want to say like last year or maybe even like a year and a half, 2 years ago at this point.
Damn, man, had to wait that long.
Yeah.
That was a good deal. That's been a good deal. No, I'm saying they must have paid them a lot.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, this one they go more in the Wind Waker direction. It's full 3-dimensional. From the reviews that I've seen, it seems like it might be okay, but it doesn't seem like it's particularly great. Might be something that if it ends up on Game Pass, I'd check out, but I'm not rushing out to try and get my hands on it right now.
Maybe I should have paid this Akiva strip for content reasons.
I'm telling you, Dominic. I'm telling you. Put that in the thumbnail too. Might get some more clicks. You never know. You never know.
I would give it a 7 out of 10 on the PS3.
Mm-hmm.
That's the PS3 version.
Yeah, and the PC version is probably better because you can use mods.
I didn't see some of these new ones. The PS4 got a 4 out of 10 on Edge, though. I wonder it's because it was
what does Edge
didn't do
know?
much change.
They only know edging, Dominic. Game like that, you don't just edge.
Game 4 get a 6 out of 10. Like, I don't see all the PS2s. I don't see no thing for the what's this one called? What's this version called?
The Undead and Undressed Director's Cut.
Okay, the Undead Undressed is always the
that's
subtitle.
part of the title. Okay.
Yeah, it's Director's Cut. So maybe I don't know. I want to know Director's Cut and like make it even better, but
Director's Cut means there's circumcisions
now. This is weird. This is so fucking weird. Oh my god.
See, you say that's weird, Dominic, but last game I got here, Baldur's Gate 3 is now out on the PC, and in that game you can fuck a bear. So like,
and that's Western too, man.
Maybe don't be so critical of Japan.
They give us a bad thing, the Western side. Now I bring you Europeans. It's the Europeans. That's what it is.
They are perverts over there.
But can you fuck more than a bear? Can you fuck like a baby dragon? Not baby dragon, but you know, like small dragon or something.
Jesus, Dominic.
I mean, I heard it was like
a full-grown 18-year-old plus dragon. Yes. I would imagine you could. I don't know why it would have to be limited to a bear, but
I just don't. God, I wish I didn't see it. Like, I wish I didn't see that.
I wish I didn't see it. I wish it was a surprise when I was playing this game and it just started happening.
Like, I mean, no, I didn't see the whole full section, but just the start of, like, they show the clip on Twitter. And, like, just the bear, because it's the bear getting on top and the man spread eagle. I'm like, what the fuck? Yo, I'm like, dude, this is some fucked up shit. It's like, oh, people, man.
So yeah, Baldur's Gate, Dominic. Do you think you're gonna find your way to playing this?
I don't know. I mean, after I play through 1 and 2, Daniel, I'll get to.
Okay.
That long ass games.
It's a commitment you're making.
It's, I mean, just like the original Sin. I got through that game, right?
Nah.
No. I played that game twice. Like, started over and played it again, and some years later, and still didn't finish it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I doubt it. I'll play Starfield before this. So
yeah.
I mean, likely. There's a lot of other games out there. This game
is
taking too much time
from that.
And then I want to play it at its best. I don't think it'll run on my PC.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's not. It's just on PS5 on consoles, right? Like it's not on PS4. I think it's just a PS5 game.
Yeah, it's just a PS5 game, and the Xbox version is like delayed right now.
Yeah. So when does the PS5 version come out?
Let's see. There's Game 3.
I knew it came out later.
What does PlayStation say? You can't just let me pre-order, but not tell me when it actually releases. So September 6th is what they're saying.
Yeah,
right,
there was some. Oh yeah, there was like discussions with like people were not really controversy, but a little console war shit. People were saying
that's the same day as Starfield, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's been going on, but why the Baldur's Gate 3 is not coming out on Xbox in time is because of they said that because they have to optimize it for the S. The S is basically saying like the S is holding it back.
That potato.
And Xbox,
yep.
You're required to have it. What's the word for it? It has to be the same on both consoles. Yeah. I mean, well, it has to be the same. Like parity. Yeah, because they said the multiplayer, trying to get the multiplayer working on the S.
Ah, gotcha.
And if they could say like, hey, we just put it in later or don't have it or something, they can't do that. And so some people are saying like, look, see, the S is holding the shit back. It's holding stuff back and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Work harder.
Yeah, that's what somebody said. It said, why are these brothers bitching? They say like, yeah, whatever. Like, yeah. I mean, they work as long as you can. I mean, hell, the Xbox people be all right. They got Starfield and stuff.
Yeah.
Anybody who has that game, I mean, who wants a game? I mean, it'll come out eventually. So, yeah, just have to wait a little longer.
Yeah,
it sucks.
I mean,
it does
honestly,
suck though. But
more than anything, I if I'm them, I wouldn't want to release that on the same day as the PS5 version anyway, just because it is the same day as Starfield.
Exactly. And that's another thing. Yeah, that would be a bad. Yeah. No point of that. You might as well just wait. Yeah, you might as well wait. It'd be better off to wait. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you'll get a sweet Game Pass offer too.
Game Pass. That'd be crazy. Oh man, that'd be crazy if that happens.
So, all right, Dominic, you got anything else for the people this week?
Nah, man.
All right, thank you guys as always for listening. You can check us out on X. No, we'll just say Twitter.
No, Zitter.
At Zitters. Pop us up over there on at DStalworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Superpod, SUPAPOD. Superpod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has all of our previous podcasts, as well as links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, any of this place you can find audio podcasts. And until next time, guys, talk to you later.
All right, see you.